Now, is there any possibility of regime change in China that would facilitate this in a more peaceful way?
I mean, when you got a one-man government, you're talking a popular uprising with leaders that don't exist to displace an old paranoid guy who has all the guns. That's a tall order. I don't think so.
And how strong is his control over there? I mean, how much dissent is there against Xi?
There's definitely a lot of unhappiness with the system, but because Xi has systematically removed everyone with an opinion or competence, if Xi were to die tomorrow, I don't think there is a replacement system in the wings. It's basically a system of cronies. So if you look back to what happened after Mao died, you had the Gang of Four, and you had a period of just absolute chaos until Deng Xiaoping took over. But Deng Xiaoping was part of the system. Xi is far more paranoid and far more isolated and far more consolidated than Mao ever was.
Jesus. So, I mean, how old is Xi now?
He's also late 60s, I believe. Yeah, most of the people in the new Politburo technically aren't supposed to serve because they're too old. He waived that rule.
What is their requirement before that?
I'm not positive. I want to say it was 66.
And so he is at
He's right at that age, I believe.
And there's no threat to his reign.
None. None within the system.
And as long as he stays alive,
Yep.
he will maintain power.
Right.
And he will be constantly surrounded by cronies, and he has insulated himself from any criticism or any bad news.
Yeah, we've been going this way for a while. So when Deng took over, he realized that one-man government was awful. So he worked out a series of secession in 10-year increments that different parts of the country, different factions would have time in government and rule. And then when they were not the ones who were making the big decisions, they'd still be in the Politburo. So we got our third generation and our fourth generation in the form of Jiang Zemin and Hu Jintao. But Deng realized when he set this system up around 1980 that he wasn't going to be there forever, and he wasn't going to be able to predict what was going to happen in the 2000s. So he told these two factions, you then have to pick a compromise candidate for who comes next. And they went with Xi because he's from the South, but his family is with the Maoists, and he had a foot in all camps. Well, Xi spent his first 5 years purging the system of all the other factions. And then the second 5 years of his reign in making sure that everyone realized it was him and him only who was in charge. After 10 years of that, there's no one left. And so there is no secession plan post-Xi. There is no one waiting in the wings. And the old factions as they once existed have basically been sledgehammered.